Would you believe it? It's the last game of not only the stage, but also the regular season. That's right. It concludes what has been a three-stage unbelievable banger. And now we move into Rhythm and Knights. There's a lot on the line here, Dev. Knights looking to secure first place in the gauntlet run, but also Rhythm looking to leapfrog over both Avert and Chiefs. Let's have a look at the Knights as we talk about this one a little bit deeper, and I will go to you first, Dev. I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, exactly what I was saying while I was muted there is that this is an underdogs versus the old dogs who have been in a bit of a slump. So these guys, the Knights, they're recovering from what has been a bit of a disappointing stage, while in OCN they've been maintaining some really strong results. They've have had some significant losses. For example, they've lost to Chiefs 7-1 earlier in the stage. They've now lost them twice if you include APAC South. Knights are really gunning for a win here though, because a win, be it regulation or overtime, will lock them in for that #1 spot going into the playoffs, which means they skip straight to the grand final. And that is exactly what these guys want. They set it themselves. Their priority is getting top in OCN. It means that they can just chill, ride the wave, and minimize the number of maps that they will have to reveal in the playoffs.
Jeez, Dino, sorry, mate. Didn't realize we were kind of, making you fall asleep. But yeah, look, I think this is a great opportunity for Knights to take top spot and to reclaim what has been lost, in all honesty. The whole vibe about them in OCN was lost after stage 1. But one team that is certainly reviving themselves, it's Rhythm. And Vast, I'll go to you first, because this roster, I mean, we came into this stage thinking, we know that they can push teams to overtime, but they haven't been all that successful in completely, dismantling teams. However, this stage has been completely different.
Yeah, I mean, what a 360 for this team. I mean, at the start of the stage, I think we kind of were talking about, some of the same things we were mentioning last season, kind of looked like they were going to have another bad season, not much was changing. And then they make a roster change. They, moved Dragos from sub to core, replacing Novax, which I found was an interesting change. I mean, obviously Novax stepped down for personal reasons, but, bringing in Dragos, it kind of sparked something in the team, and all of a sudden they, found a bit more success and started playing a lot better, which was quite surprising. And now, they've qualified for playoffs regardless of the outcome of this match. Obviously, this match still has a lot of importance. There is a chance for them to get third place, which would be just seriously insane if Rhythm were to get third place for stage 3.
Dev, is it possible? Can they do it?
It certainly is possible. We've seen these guys manage to beat the Chiefs in the past. If they can beat Chiefs, I feel like they can do anything. They can certainly beat the Knights here. So look, Rhythm are a team that no one expected anything of coming into stage 3, and they have really surpassed their expectations. They've now beaten Rafflecopter, Wildcard, and the Chiefs. They've guaranteed themselves a spot in playoffs, and the sky's the limit. I think it was the moment when these guys realized they had nothing to lose was when they suddenly turned it all on. And now, there's also a pretty solid chance that they won't even be in relegations, which is unbelievable. And with that, Rhythm are ready to just go all out, go hard, beat the Knights here 7-3, 7-4, 7-5, and leapfrog the Chiefs, skip the first match in the playoffs. Easy as you like. Bob's your uncle.
Jeez, I wish it was all that easy. Let's have a look at the vetoes and see how easy this may be. Vast, give me your thoughts. We're going to Villa.
I mean, that's not really surprising for Rhythm. Kind of surprised me for Knights. I believe they've had some shaky results. We'll have to double check with the Dev Marta match tracker. But yeah, I mean, Knights, they always ban, usually they actually ban in Clubhouse. So the fact that they kind of changed their bans up a bit today is quite interesting. But yeah, nothing really too surprising. Villa's good for both teams. I mean, Rhythm looked pretty good on Villa against Chiefs. So I'm kind of actually surprised based off that result that Knights are kind of even risking that.
Yeah, Knights actually did lose this to Chiefs 7-1 near the start of Stage 3 in OCN. And they also lost it previous stage to Order 7-1, if you remember that horrible match. Now, I will say, though, that Rhythm did lose this as well to Overt. So it's not like Rhythm are flawless on this map. And I will add that, like, neither of these teams really like banning it. Knights in particular haven't banned it all of OCN Stage 3, and they've got some strong wins. Like, for example, their win against Bliss, who is arguably the next strongest team in the league right now, was on Villa. So I think Knights are probably, like, going to be pretty happy with this. I feel like we're going to a map that both teams are pretty strong on, though. And I think that maybe, like, if Rhythm are going in with a lot of prep, like, there's a lot of VODs out there of Knights playing Villa. So if they've done a lot of their homework, then I think it'll be a game that they could seriously give Knights a run for their money.
Well, I guess that's really exciting if it is on familiar territory for both of these teams. Vast, before we get into this, give me your prediction.
I do predict Rhythm to win, but, you know, historically looking at this, Knights have been the ones to kind of quite dominantly beat Rhythm in the past. So, with that being said, I still think if Rhythm are able to kind of play the way they played against Chiefs and punish that aggression, I don't think it will be exactly the same, but if they can still try to stick with that game plan, I think that could be one way Rhythm will be the Knights. I kind of struggle to say that at the end, bit of a tongue twister.
Don't worry, it happens to the best of us, and I'm definitely not the best of us. I'm talking about Dev Marta, and I'm also talking about Knights and Rhythm. I can't believe we're saying it, but Rhythm may actually have an opportunity to beat the Knights. I still cannot believe that is coming out of my mouth. They have shown us all stage long that they are here to fight, and they've booked their spot to the playoffs. It's just about how far they want to take this, Dev. We go to Villa for the final game of regular season.
There is no doubt that Rhythm have been feeling the rhythm in Stage 3. Stage 2, they didn't find a single win. In Stage 3, they've already found 3. They've taken down the 2-time OCN champs, the Chiefs. Now they set their sights on the Knights. Villa is our battleground, and the Knights get to their attacking ban after Jackal was taken down by Rhythm, looking to suppress. In particular, I believe it's Josh who usually plays a lot of Jackal on this map, really hunting those roamers. And it's another roam counter that is banned by the Knights. In this case, the Nomad, the flank counter, that flank watch. And that does leave Thatcher in. Very unusual to see Thatcher in. And I'm curious to see how these teams will switch it into their lineup, because we often see Thatcher make it through but still doesn't actually get subbed into the lineup. I have confidence that Knights should probably bring it, but not sure about Rhythm.
All right, final ban to clean things up here before we head into it. Rhythm on that defensive side, so will they lean into something that's going to hinder them too much? Not really. It's just going to be the mirror banned out. The most banned operator, I feel, just in all of Siege at the moment, just seems to be the way. Now, let's see what both of these teams have, because, you know, one of two Knights are going to show up today. It's going to be the Knights that are undeniably the best in Australia, or it's going to be the Knights that make us beg the question, where do they sit in Oceania? And now we get to find out, because they have put all their eggs into OCN to ensure that they could prove not just to themselves, but to everyone else that they are the best. Oh, Juicy, don't do this to me.
Don't do this to me, Juicy.
Yeah.
We've had a couple rehearsed tonight, haven't we?
One or two.
A couple of pauses.
One or
times.
two. And you know what? I'm not even going to say before 12, because I don't even feel comfortable in saying that.
Yeah, we've got an hour to get done before 12, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I mean, I don't want to. Wait, I just realized Dragos has changed his name.
Where is it? Oh, that's a... Yeah.
That's a good name, eh?
Yeah. I'm still calling him Dragos, I'm telling you right now.
Absolutely. I am not going to try and change what I'm calling him, but...
Because you know you're going to slip up and just completely mess the name up completely.
Absolutely. Maybe it does give us some guidance on how to pronounce it, because we've had a little bit of a, like, is it Dragos? Is it Dragos? And I actually chatted to him like last week, and he told me, and then I completely forgot what he told me.
Yeah, but Dev, when
think
was
he
the
said
last time we ever listened to a player? Because I've lost all trust in them.
Well, the thing is, coming into OCN Stage 3, when I knew that he was playing for Rhythm, I asked Blue Panda, who was casted him in OCL. Panda told me it was Dragos, and so I was saying that, and then I didn't think that was right, and then I'm pretty sure he said Dragos. Like when I asked the player himself, Dragos himself, he said Dragos, which is like what I would have assumed, and that makes sense, right? Because he's now changed it to Fragos, which rhymes with Dragos. So you'd think it's that. Here he is, the Czech himself.
Can't see him.
And I noticed that Vast has been saying Dragos, like Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter. I don't know. We're all over this shop. I'm just gonna go Dragos.
Well, you know, you could just not make your name all that complicated, and we could just pronounce it. You know, maybe you could have a name like Dev Marta High, and we'd know exactly what
Dev
it
Marta
is.
James now. Thank you very much.
Dev Marta James. Or maybe you could have a name like Guz Casts. You know, it just
Oh, that's a
rolls off
good
the
one.
tongue.
Oh, look at the Kelpie in the back. Is that a doggo?
Leb, show us. Open.
We need the
open your
doggo.
chair.
Doggo cam. Can we get
Oh,
I'm
please.
gonna throw production under the bus here. Can we get a zoom? Can we get a doggo zoom?
Of a leg, or is that a like? I think that's just a leg. So
Do
we're
we
gonna
have
get a leg
X-
zoom.
Do we have X-ray vision? Can production do that? We just like X-ray through the chair and have a look at the doggo.
Hey, I'm all about the farm dogs.
I really
Beautiful.
just one day we've got to have Leb like on an interview and he just picks up the guitar and starts shredding.
Dude,
That's what we need.
I just like I just imagine that he is like an absolute weapon on the
Totally.
guitar. Like I genuinely think that he could just blow the socks off. You know,
He's got some serious kit there, man. Like, you look at that. He's got at least 2-3 cases I can see. I reckon he's got far more than the two guitars we can see.
I have no doubt. I mean, you're a fellow musician, so you'd be able to pick it a lot better than I could.
Is that actually?
but,
I think is that a bass? The one on the right? I can't quite tell. I can't see how many strings it is. I can't see the pegs.
Yeah, music and bass, drum and bass. That's the one.
Yeah.
Attackers need to locate and defend.
There you go. We're back in.
Hey, let's go now.
We had 2 6 picks, if you want me to call them out, because I think we would have missed them on
please.
cam. But
Yes.
So Leb was on the Echo, and he 6-picked onto the Legion, and we had
Yep.
Hayward, who was teasing at the Montaigne, which obviously Hayward wouldn't usually play. It'd usually be Juicy, but he 6-picked onto the Nick.
Well, we have been seeing a lot more of Nook. Now let's have a look at the HP Omen community vote, and I think that for most people they would agree with this. However, recently Rhythm have really been making a statement. I think that it would be more like 55 to 45%, if I'm being completely honest.
We definitely have. There's something in the water right now for
Yeah.
the Knights.
Do you reckon it's tropical juice, or what are we thinking?
This isn't Jigsaw's game.
Hey, maybe they've taken a note out of his book. I think everyone should take the note out of their book, because man's sharp. Man is very sharp. Now, it's looks like Knights going to be approaching, sweeping from Stat Trophy, bedroom across, and Rhythm aren't going to have too much in their way in terms of body count. However, you've just seen the Sawyer Gate and some barbed wire to boot. So at the very least, Knights will have to dismiss some of their utility to make way.
Halo on this rappel. Oh, almost finds it with a pistol. Oh my god. Just a lick of HP left for Dragos as he scuttles back to the site.
Scuttles.
Yeah.
Does he trot back to the site, doth he?
He doth.
Oh man, what would I do without you? Honestly, what would I do without you?
I don't know, probably have a good time for once.
No.
Like this magnet.
Unheard of.
There's the magnet. Catches that one. Dino does shoot it, but too little too late. There's 3 ADSs on the stairs. Drex has run away. How did he manage to get down with Josh not seeing him? What? Unless if I'm tripping and Drex was never at the top of the stairs, but I thought he was.
I am almost certain he was, unless, again, I'm tripping too. But maybe Josh had just gotten... I wasn't really paying attention to Josh's outline. So regardless, though, Drex now in a position that he can flank at any given moment. Up red or, you know, wherever he so pleases. He is down in basement, so he can rotate quite easily without Knights being able to catch him. And it really does come down to their drone play and who's on flank watch. For now, Knights have taken a lot of control of the northern side of the map, and it's just now about spreading out and seeing what you can find. Josh is making a hell of a lot of noise, and Drex is going to hear that for sure. He's got to punish this. There's no way this goes unnoticed and undetected. Oh my God, what is going on?
Oh no,
How
he
is
get
Josh
turned
blind
on.
that? No.
3v2 now for Rhythm. Knights have made this manageable. As Rhythm have vacated the site, they're playing for Plantanal for retake. A lot of angles open. Knights have 30 seconds to recompose. The E1D goes through, and Dino finds another. Ghoul's in a great spot, but Leb gets the critical kill. He's found 3 this round, and now it's all Dino.
Can isolate these fights as well. I don't think Leb's in a position to swing and try and trade him, so he could well find himself with 2 individual 1v1s. Dino just can't make it around the corner. Leb goes prone, and that is a fantastic start for Rhythm.
And a good 4K from the man himself, Leb. Rhythm open this match with a strong defense of Aviator Games. Now, Aviator Games is a very strong defensive side, so this isn't anything to write home about just yet. Villa overall is a defender-sided map. So far in OCN, it's actually been very close at 52% defensive win rate. But that said, Aviator Games tends to be the most solid of all of the bomb sites.
Yeah.
So this is where we need to see if Rhythm has some depth here. Outside of that primary bomb site, they go to Dining next, avoiding Stat Trophy for now.
Attackers need
And
to
Knights
locate
have
and
another
defuse
shot.
as many bombs as they can.
I think just touching on, you know, where the map is at, especially in OCN, I really can only speak firmly to OCN and a little bit of APAC South as well. But I do feel like, especially this year, once the meta had kind of shifted away from that 2020 util dump meta, it very much started to even out a lot more than what we had expected it to. Because, you know, way back in the day, if you weren't absolutely on point with your util dump, you could really be punished on the attack. And there were so many points that you'd just get completely choked out of. Whereas now, you can still lean... You know, you can lean on the util heavy side of things on your defense, which we do often see, but it's much, much easier for the attacking side to either dismiss what you're using or to, you know, kind of utilize their own. So at this point, I am happy to see that it's kind of equaled out a little bit more, even though I would tend to say that most teams that are feeling confident would more so lean into that defense. But I guess the stats don't lie, do they, Dev?
It's true. Stats never lie. That's why I love my spreadsheet so much.
Apart from
Here's
when it
the
does
entry.
lie.
Yeah, I mean, that does happen, but we don't talk about that.
No.
Dino's in a strong position as they push up. They take control of Aviator and Games. Nice breach on the Games wall. They should have info that this is clear within a few moments. Dino's got a great angle, but he loses it as Dragos lives up to his new name, fragging Dino as the opening pick.
Bomb diffuser.
AFX is... Oh, that's nutty, Hayward. I think there's only melee holes in there. Oh, God.
Jeez.
Rhythm. They are, I mean, whenever Knights are giving them an opening, they are taking it.
Josh has got a good nade here, though. He should be able to find Led if he gets it right, but no, doesn't quite do so.
Located by attackers.
2v4. We've seen some 2v4s won tonight, but I don't have a lot of confidence in this one. They have good info, though, on where Hayward is and where Josh is, I believe, as well. As Josh is trying to play around the clock here. That other clock at the top of your screen is ticking down. Still a lot of time left, but Knights have to find a pick here to make this workable.
Rhythm are not really being pressed at all in terms of, like, you know, making them feel uncomfortable. Drex can really get a lot of intel here. If he was to move a little bit closer to that western wall, I reckon he'd easily be able to see Hayward. Maybe not so much Josh, who's just down on the basement staircase there. But nevertheless, Rhythm are just in the perfect position. It's just about how long Knights take to try and do something, to try and find a kill. And it looks like they're going to take a little bit of pressure off of their shoulders by nullifying some of the intel that Rhythm would have in their shoulders.
Time's ticking. And Josh gets in, but gets punished. Now it's Hayward all alone. And he finds a mouthful of buckshot, thanks to Leb. That is a good double back of opening rounds for Rhythm. That's 2 in a row. The Knights looking pretty lost on their attack. I'm not going to lie, Manic. This is a bit concerning for the Knights.
Yeah. Not the Knights that we'd hoped coming into this game, that is for damn sure. We'd really wanted to see something that was like a shining light almost for us to, you know, something to almost hang our hats on, you know, something that firm, that solid that we could lean on and know that it wasn't going to topple. Right now, I guess the start of this, Rhythm have been phenomenal. And yeah, go shoot. I know you're about to say something.
Well, the stakes of this match ripple out through half the teams in the league, right? Like, if Knights win this in regulation or in overtime, then Knights will end up in first place. Rhythm will be in, I believe, 5th place.
Correct.
And that means that Knights get straight into that grand final. Rhythm will have to run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
If Rhythm win this in regulation and only in regulation, then that means that Bliss will take first place.
Yeah.
Bliss will get straight to the grand final. Knights will have to play the semi. And Rhythm will leapfrog over Overt and the Chiefs and skip that first match in the gauntlet.
Yeah.
That would be unbelievable. Can you imagine Rhythm 3rd place in this end of stage 3 standings?
Not with the storyline that we've been following all stages long. I should just say all season long there. That was, I've confused myself. But, I mean, when we do look back at their performances throughout the year, they've had so many close games. Now, what's absolutely crazy is in stage 2, Rhythm did not win a single game. And, I mean, that was just, I think that's why we came into this stage just being so... I want to say brutal of their performance. They were negative 27 rounds. In comparison, they have completely turned their own story around with 3 regular time wins with a +3 round difference. Like, this is a completely different roster to what we're used to seeing, and full credit to them. It's actually, like, thinking about it now, it's not crazy that they would finish 3rd, but boy, they have turned some storylines around in their own heads, let alone in our eyes.
And they're playing well here as well in this 3rd round. Just shooting drones and falling back. 2 drones already wasted, and Knights don't have a lot of map control to work for. As they try to make their way across the map from Study, this is where they were met by quite a few roamers and lost a couple of these opening engagements. Ghoul is... he falls as Dino finds that strong entry. The Knights do have the first pick, and they take the ground with it.
Which is exactly what you want to see. The second you get an advantage, what kind of space can you take? How much can you suffocate the defense? And right now, they're pretty much all on site. I think there's a little bit of an issue here with the fact that they've still got master control. They're pretty damn comfortable. This is going to be dangerous. Oh my God. That was some really nice tracking. Juicy couldn't get anything done. Kit's now down outside of master bedroom. And Knights have to be conscious of the time.
4v4, a minute left. That diffuser needs to be picked up. Like you said, Dragos is still keenly watching it. As Hayward pushes on the other side, does Dragos hear it? Hayward should win this fight. He just grabs the kit and moves back. Doesn't go for the kill, even though he was spotted out. Hayward looking to play very carefully. The Sage and Lurks below might find one as well. A nade through the floor could be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It was just short. Now 35 seconds. The second nade also short. And Leb's got a potential for a flank here. This is just grim for the Knights.
Yeah. Not saying Leb was going to be the linchpin by any means, but that is just absolutely massive. A 3K in the round for Dragos as Leb closes things out. Ripped them 3 rounds straight on their defense. And I mean, as if it was ever in question.
They're certainly making it look like this is their game, and they are getting animated. Dragos is pretty happy. Ghoul, I mean, always Ghoul is just, he's something else. And imagine the interview we will get with him after this match. Should they take down the Knights in a swift 7 whatever? If it's in regulation, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the scoreline as long as they get it done in regulation. That means Rhythm will boost up the standings. Now they just got to repeat those 3 sites they've already won. They should be feeling pretty confident they could do so again.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So we go back to Aviator Games now. The main difference here is the Tachanka, and I just love that. Absolutely love seeing some spice in the server, as well as a bit of power outside the server. Shout out to HP Omen, who's a sponsor for the Oceanic Nationals. So you can check out their information in the Twitch chat with the ! Omen. But for now, the Knights are really the ones that need to get on their bike, get a move on, because we haven't really seen much from them at all.
No, I feel like the earlier starts of the round, we're seeing some good progress being made. You know, you think back to round 1, they took a fair bit of red, of top red. They had the landing, they had 90 control when they were attacking AVG, but how quickly that all fell to pieces. Now, we didn't see where the kills came in from, but the other part to that entire push was the fact that Drex was actually on the Jaeger, sitting at the bottom of red undetected. So that flank came up, didn't lead to anything, but that was just another dangerous point that we were like, oh, this is not looking all that great. That round again, Dev, they start out okay, and then it just kind of, you know, dwindles away. It just gets a little bit dire there. Right now, Josh, getting live droned in. Leb just needs to be careful. And in doing so, he backs away. Oh my God, he's on 8 kills? What?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a player you'd be wanting to take down these days. Leb 800. Captain of Rhythm has been stepping up and shredding in the server. A lot of a roam going on here for Rhythm. They got a lot of C4 players down particular. Leb as well.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
Only downside is there's not a lot of info for them, so they're going to have to be really communicative off of the sound cues that they get. For example, AFX would have a free C4 here if he knew where Dino was standing.
A lack of intel for that particular member. Dragos as well, thought maybe might continue to get aggressive around model, but instead backs away. Now, this is the kind of control we saw from Knights in that first round. Now, what they were able to achieve after that, I just don't know. I don't really know, but one thing's for sure, util clear is on point, but with AFX in this position, he hasn't been droned, he hasn't been detected. I'm a little bit worried for them.
There's a serious potential for a flank up red or up Astro, and there's a serious potential for a C4. Or just denying the plant through lines of sight. We also have a lot of plant denial for Rhythm in the form of Drex with the Tachanka. Still 12 Shamikra grenades remaining, as he can just pepper those out and deny the entry from the Knights as long as possible. Knights still 5 alive on both sides. They need to find the entrance here.
They do. One thing we saw just before we moved away from that third eye is the fact that Drex was pushed out of position, so he can't sit behind bar anymore. Leb underneath is going to be able to deny. They've got absolutely no idea. Bamboozle trying to figure out where these shots are coming from. Knights are just walking into the meat grinder, but they are fighting back. That's the key point right now. Dragos has to go massive. He can't do so, and now it's all onto Leb. He has to retake from top of main stairs. This does not look doable.
9 kills and not a single death. One of those is about to change. Juicy's on such low HP, but Sage has the crossfire. Leb taken down. And what What looks to be a close round, Knights actually end up taking by storm.
I just thought in all the positions they had, Leb underneath being able to deny the plant behind model. You had AFX coming up from red stairs. You still had the impact of the Tachanka on site. Like, there were so many points just then that I really thought were gonna just line up for Rhythm to find a fourth round. Importantly so, Knights are on the bike, you know. They are well and truly back in this game. We go 4-0 down, and really it starts to get a bit dire. You know, those last two rounds it is like mission critical at that point for Knights. But now, they've given themselves some breathing room. They've given themselves that round buffer as we move in toward this real dire part of this first half. And I guess for Rhythm as well, you don't want to be letting this slip to a 3-3 after the start that you've had. You need to tidy this up, and here's your opportunity to. Into kitchen and dining.
No doubt. I think that the pivotal thing here is that it's not just about the scoreline being 3-3 if Knights win the next two, but it's about the momentum shift that comes with. I think that Knights have already had a pretty significant go of getting the favor back on their side, that momentum back in their corner, because that was realistically probably going to be a Rhythm favored round. Like, Leb got the opening pick denying the plant. It looks like Rhythm was set up in the advantageous position, but then Knights just go deep, overwhelm Rhythm. Winning in an unfavored position like that, it gives you so much confidence, and that's exactly what Knights have right now. And if they can back that up with another round, another 2 rounds, that will be certainly more than enough momentum to carry through.
Which is a real concern when you think about what Knights are really like, you know,
once
when
they get like tonight. Once Knights hit their standard, right? Like, that's it.
Yep. And that's the thing, it doesn't take much for them to get their skates on, but it does feel like recently their skates are just not close by, you know? There's this bit of hesitation, there's this small amount of, like, push and pull that comes with this tug of war. However, you're 100% spot on the money. When they do, it is really, really scary. So, Rhythm just need to be cautious about where they let this kind of, where this continues on to, I think, is the easy point to make, because Knights are looking a little bit more confident this time around.
Time to get the vert going, as top floor control has been found. The sledge will get to work on the floor. That's Josh. A significant roam still for Rhythm, and a C4 with the assistance of the cardiac sensor. Dano takes a lot of damage. That nade comes through the floor. Drex's own C4 finds nothing. And Josh is putting so much pressure on by opening these vertical lines.
Sage finding the first kill. AFX could be quite big again. I mean, we've talked about it so many times, but it just hasn't come to fruition yet. Indicating the Knights flank watch, or at the very least, their reactions are unbelievable. There we go, Juicy again finding another kill. 2 players low here for Knights, but they're not out for the count, and that is what's really important. 5 crosshairs and 5 guns up to fight with, but Ghoul, he's going to take him down a notch.
Yeah, winning a fight through the vert, not easy, but Ghoul gets it done. There's still a player lurking, it's AFX, and even though the numbers are down for the count, AFX has a chance here to make this significant. Now, Juicy has been injured, but he should be able to get picked back up safely, as Knights have about 30 seconds to make this laundry execute work.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
Look at this AFX now. If he can cut off this player, I think it's Juicy. Oh my God. He was staring at
the timing
laundry for a solid 10-15 seconds then. This is where things get spicy. The final round of the first half. Rhythm, I'm going to say, really need to find this round. They need to push this to 4-2.
They do. And even though a 3-3 half statistically is pretty good for this map, like it's 52% win rate on the defense for Villa in OCN. But it's just a momentum shift, right? Like, if Knights can win this, that's 3 rounds in a row they found. That's their confidence back. Once Knights start playing like Knights play, once we see them hit their stride, once they get that confidence to just, oh, it's only Rhythm we're playing against. No, we've smashed these guys every other time we've played them. Why not the same here? That's when you got to get really scared for Rhythm, especially because Knights will be switching onto their own defense.
Yes. Which we know is nigh impenetrable sometimes.
That's it.
It's, they really are like, you know, Knights have just been that team for so long that we look to as the shining example of consistency. Now, Stage 3 hasn't really been the best stage to kind of highlight that, but what's insane about that, Dev, is they've only lost one game. Like, you know, they've been talking about, oh, you know, we're looking to get back on top. You know, we're really trying to focus on OCN and all of these comments that have been made. They've lost one game out of 6, and they are just as strong as ever. And yet we still sit here and we're like, yeah, this isn't the Knights that we know. You know, like I think that's what's scary about this roster.
One last shot at the half for Knights as they look to attack Trophy Stat. The last time this didn't go their way, they lost the opener, but I think that this focus on Master Bedroom is the way to play. Definitely brings me confidence in the Knights as they start to really mount this pressure. Rhythm are doing a fairly default hold on the main wall, and it shouldn't be too troublesome for Knights to clear off this Kaid Electric Law, the wall denial, and then start really putting pressure on. Ooh, that shield wasn't destroyed there by Dino. He just missed it. I think maybe, was he just going? Okay, maybe he was just going for the barbed wire, but nonetheless, Josh cleans it up with a nade. Might need a second nade to go over the top and clear the Electric Claw. But for now, Knights have made some decent progress. Still a lot more work to be done.
Okay, holding on to that. I was going to say it's very ambitious. A lot of util being used. This could be massive. He could find a double here. Oh, no. Oh, it was just a fraction off hitting the mark, and that could have been nuclear. But AFX trying to hit some shots from underneath. It's actually Drex that manages to hold the long line from Stat. Or rather, Trophy, sorry. Oh, Sage just getting caught. Now things get a little bit awkward. 4v4, but Knights have a lot of control.
They do, but they're somewhat spread out here, which means this could come down to some ones that we don't necessarily see Knights winning all of. Leb's caught out, though. Spotted. The gas helps him get covered. But Knights have time to burn down. They don't have to walk in through these gas. That said, Josh starts to make his move. Sajin finds the pick on Drex. Still Leb is alive, and he finds his 10th kill before he's traded back.
Ambitious from Leb, but he's stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Who is that on the flank? No, Knights, no. They 100% know. AFX is forced to back away here. Ghoul can't get anything done. Knights have rebounded phenomenally after an incredible start from Rhythm. And now, with 3-3 posed as the question, what can AFX do?
Knights aren't going to give him a damn thing. He's about to walk straight into Hayward's line of sight and get cut off. The Knights make a 3-round comeback to tie up the half. Can they take first place in OCN?
Three rounds of Rhythm dominance turns into 3 rounds of Knights dominance, and we are set pretty much at 0-0. Dev, we've prefaced it's a 52% win rate for the defense on Villa, meaning that it's pretty well damn split down the middle. What do Rhythm have on their attack?
It's a good question. Rhythm's certainly going to have to step up. They've got the Lion. They're looking to really hunt down these roamers. On the back of the Nomad ban and the Jackal ban, the roam is pretty comfortable. I will say, though, lot of missed opportunities on the defensive side from Rhythm on the count of the Valk being banned. You could tell they really would have had so much more info had that been up.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Hayward's going to be able to get some well-placed Mozzie drones. If he can hack a couple, then he might be able to use those essentially as Valk comes. When we've got 2 C4s on the Knights side and Hayward roaming down below, that would be huge.
That would be a very similar approach to what we saw from Knights in that first round. The sweep, closet and bathroom all the way across. Does feel as though Knights have put a little bit more here, and you can see exactly that. They've got some bodies across in stat and trophy, as well as util to boot. Just needing to be quite cautious. Oh, God. How good is that from Josh? Peeks around at the right time. Hayward finds a kill with the C4. Very quickly traded back by Rhythm. This is what we need to see.
In fact, both of these kills essentially are traded back. They won't know that Dino's downed. They might have an idea, at least at where he was. Oh, and if Hayward had won that, it would have been all fine. But no, Ghoul steps up. That's a huge 2K, and after finishing off the down player, he flicked back and pre-fired the stairs. This leaves Rhythm in a fantastic position. 3v2, still a lot of utility. You can see all the frags, all the flashes on these remaining players are still up. Now, Juicy and Sage still have their own utility left, but the numbers advantage is squarely in Rhythm's favor.
May well be. Sage, easily one of the sharpest players. And Juicy, who is one of the most phenomenal anchors and support players in the region, still up with 3 smoke babes in hand. The big thing here is going to be the time. That is where things are going to get a little bit tricky for them on the defense. Rhythm have the ability to maneuver and continue to waste time, or rather utility, that Knights have in the pocket. But they've got to be careful, because if they isolate 1v1s, if they are not doing their due diligence, they will be punished.
Look at the way Knights have repositioned though, so smart. They've got Sage playing the close angle and Juicy playing the far angle. That way they can use their utility the best. Really means that Rhythm's going to have a hard time of executing this. Still 2 gases left for Juicy, plus the C4 from Sage, all of which could deny the plant. Sage has to use this C4 now, though, and he does. He tosses it back, and it baits out Ghoul falling back. Now there's no plant denial, and Sage has to win this fight. The gas might do it, and indeed, Sage can deny 1. Now it's all Juicy. The gas finishes off Leb. It's Juicy versus Drex. With no time left to plant, Drex has to find the kill. Juicy sees him, and Drex has to nail this shot on the swing. Juicy gets him with the shotgun. The Knights take the lead.
Huge clutch. We said that it was the utility that needed to be burnt, and they just couldn't find the right timing on it. Knights played that phenomenally. Sage and Juicy, that is unreal. I'm pretty sure Juicy's on a 10K right now. Jeez. He's got himself double digits. Not only that, it's 4 rounds straight here for the Knights. And Rhythm are trying to claw their way back. Again, just to preface what's on the line here, an overtime win for either team has pretty large implications. Rhythm leapfrog Overt and Chiefs and ensure that they don't have to play at least one of the best of 3s in the gauntlet. And then if Knights win this just outright, whether it's regulation or OT, they find themselves in the best possible position. First place in OCN, and straight in to the grand final for the gauntlet. So this is a pretty serious match for both of these teams, considering where Rhythm was at and where they are now. They've got just as much to fight for.
Exactly. I mean, the simplest way to look at it is whoever wins this game skips a match in the playoffs. Knights win, they skip the semi-final. Rhythm win, they skip the quarterfinal or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so, well, the only stipulation there is that Rhythm actually can't win in overtime. A win in overtime for Rhythm is actually worst case scenario for both of these teams. Rhythm doesn't move up at all. Knights don't move up at all. Bliss will be happy about that. Bliss will get first place. So Knights can win this in OT or regulation. Rhythm need the regulation win, and that means they can only afford to lose one more round this match.
Oh no, that's not the way you want to start either. Sage finds the opening here for Knights. Their defense looks pretty damn solid at the moment. How do Rhythm respond? They need to even out the man count or do one better and start to displace some of these members from their roams. Haywood being a very particular individual who can capitalize, but it's Dragos that manages to find him, and now things get a bit spicy.
Still the two most dangerous players in the server, Juicy for Knights and Leb for Rhythm, are still up. Dragos has been hot in his shot as well. Dino holds down to have info on him, and Dragos is watching with a keen eye. There's no way Dino peeks and wins this fight. But he can win another
instead
fight,
he'll
though.
go and peek and find another fight. That's fine.
Oh, he almost
it's
wins
the
it.
wide swing. Man, the wide swing will forever be the detriment. Oh, Dino. Damn. I wanted to see the pantry stairs play, but he goes for the safer option and now cuts off the rotate for Rhythm up red.
Yeah, Dragos not feeling very confident either. He's low HP. Knights have the health advantage, the numbers advantage. Rhythm really lacking a lot of control. They have downstairs. Oh, and the vertical angle from Juicy as well. Leb takes a chunk of damage. And Knights are going to be really struggling right now. Josh has also got this really nice pre-lined up impact. Let's see this. Let's see this. Oh, it got it. It only left one single pellet up.
That is beautiful from Josh. That is obviously Pratt. Let's see if it hits it again.
Oh.
And oh my word, that is very, very cheeky. I think we've still got a little bit left for Ghoul here. Oh, only two.
Only two left.
That's
No
big,
entry.
20 seconds left as well.
This leaves it in the hands of Rhythm to frag out. Numbers disadvantage. Knights, what can they do?
15 seconds to go.
Stand up strong, I guess, if you give them the opportunity to. Dino on a 3K or a 2K, regardless, he's absolutely held down firm. 5 seconds left. Put this one in the books. It's Knights all but on match point. 5 rounds straight.
Unbelievable to see the Knights with such a reprisal. They started the game a little bit slow. Rhythm found 3 in a row, and now Knights has taken it by storm. 5 rounds straight across 3 on the attack, 2 on the defense, and now Rhythm, yet to find an attack, will take their attack.
Couldn't really get a better place to take it either, Dev. Last opportunity to salvage all 3 points. This is it. They would have to go 4 rounds straight on their attack, which I think is going to be the toughest feat of all against a team like Knights, who are clinical, methodical, deadly and dangerous. There is little room for errors or mistakes for Rhythm. It's a big one.
If Rhythm can find these 4 rounds, it means their whole season has paid off. Their win over Chiefs has paid off. Now seed straight into the quarterfinal of the playoffs. They don't have a coach, so they've got a lot to talk about between the 5 of them. And a lot of work ahead of them to make this work. Tactical time is up. It is time for action. 2 defenses in a row for the Knights. They go down to kitchen and dining. They are very happy to rotate to their 3rd bomb site. Looking very comfortable at the moment. Looking very familiar. This is the Knights that we know. The Knights that was first in APAC South in Stage 2. The Knights that made that gauntlet run in OCN in Stage 2. And 2 rounds, or even 1 round here for Knights. And they are a step closer to that first place.
This has been the question that we've really been asking for, I want to say just 2021, is who is undeniably the best in OCN?
10 seconds to
Who? Honestly, it's been Chiefs, right? It's been Chiefs in the terms of, you know, the back-to-back champions. But we've seen Knights, we've seen Bliss. Like, both of those teams would equally have their name, you know, their hat in the ring for that conversation. But like, the barrier between saying that Chiefs are undoubtedly the best in OCN and throwing the hat of Knights or Bliss in the ring, it has to come down to this gauntlet. And this right now, from what we're seeing from Knights, if they can continue this streak, if they can find this momentum and continue to push into the gauntlet, which is only a week away, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday week, 7 days, and we're back on for the gauntlet, then I would be convinced to have that conversation.
Really good long line of sight here from Dragos. Cutting off a significant rotation at bot red all through the hallway to the L-bend. Rhythm are trying to take this control downstairs, putting the pressure on Library and Living. Knights do have a beachhead established. On top of that, they've got the upstairs control. On top of that, they found the opening pick. Drex has gone down once again. That's the second round in a row. Sage has found him.
Knights are just looking so good in the early parts of these rounds. It wasn't so much working out the first half, but it's certainly converting here in the second half. They are running away with this now. And if Rhythm can't stop the bleeding within this round, their hopes for third place are all but in the bin.
3v4, they finally refragged Sage, but it might not be enough. A lot of vertical angles held. Juicy on site, just cautious of any aggression, can get back to using his scanner, the cardiac sensor, to give some info to his team. Wait a second, Josh has got so much control, my God, and he's watching bot red. Dragos really needs to have an impact here on Laundry, but it's so hard because Knights just have so much control. You got Hayward up in Master with the hatch open. Rhythm really just need to take a bit more map control because Knights are maintaining so much.
And this is something that Knights did incredibly well in those last 3 rounds of their attacking half, was they really did start to suffocate Rhythm onto site and ensure that they weren't allowed the freedom to do what they needed. Juicy now, he's already got the information. This should be hook, line, and sinker. Rhythm, as soon as they make their approach toward the site, this really looks just so damn good for Knights.
And in goes Ghoul, caught on the angle, and Juicy finds his 11th, looking for another, but not too aggressive.
Ooh.
Dragos punishes him, Leb comes from behind. Dragos, another one, 2-on-2 with just under 5 seconds left, as Leb has to cover for Dragos. Both players coming in from China. Leb covers for one, can't get the second. All Dragos versus Dino. Dragos gets it. Rhythm. They make the 2 versus 4 work and they keep the dream alive.
That is unbelievable from Rhythm. That is so well played from them. A 2 versus 4 they bring that back from. I genuinely thought Knights had all the boxes ticked. But when you start hitting shots, when you're giving isolated fights, it does not end well. And you can see there, I mean, both of these players, Leb and Dragos, have had an unbelievable match. And I think, you know, for all it's worth, the pickup of Dragos on this roster has been undeniably one of the best decisions Rhythm have made.
No doubt about it. Even AFX as well, even if he's not lighting up in the server right now, he is a new member to this team and I'm sure he's contributing. But Dragos just then, massive 3K. I mean, he found the refrag onto Juicy. He followed up with a great pre-aim, very good game knowledge and awareness to check Mem. Got that second kill and forced that plant down and managed to get the final as well, clutching in the 1v1. Now, Rhythm are only a single round behind, but Rob Blackwood said they need 3 in a row now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all for naught. An overtime win still isn't enough for Rhythm to leapfrog over or Chiefs. So they would stay right where they are. Knights aren't going to take any second chances here. A win will give them a free ride all the way to the grand final in the OCN playoffs. And they're looking so good. They're looking so close. But if Rhythm can keep doing unpredictable things like that, Knights are going to have a serious run for their money.
That's the big issue though, Dev, isn't it? And you just used the big word, the unpredictable. How many times can you pull off the unpredictable against any team, let alone against the Knights? You know, you can pull the wool over the eyes, but for how many rounds will you successfully catch Knights sleeping to a certain extent? You know, 2 versus 4, you expect them to have that in the bag every day of the week. Regardless, Rhythm have a small glimmer of hope here to secure it. They need to work off the back of that momentum.
Dino's playing to shoot drones and fall back. Hard breach has already been used on him. Josh has a good angle. But he's very exposed as well. As soon as there's a player in Astro, they can cut off his rotate quite easily through the wall, so he doesn't want to risk it. Oh, the perfect timing for him as well. And he falls all the way back. Knights are satisfied. We've wasted half the round. We can give them that map control. We'll fortify our positions on site.
What's even better is Rhythm's reaction to it. They've got the live drone of Ghoul ahead, and AFX is not wasting any time whatsoever. So even though Knights have held that for a minute 30, Rhythm have not wasted a second in continuing to take that space, crunching Knights onto the site. Sage is still below though, and he could really be quite a nuisance with that C4 when push comes to shove, as Rhythm now have a minute left to start pushing the issue.
Hayward still pressuring from 90, so we see Rhythm rotate a player onto the window. Drex it is. Sage also has a C4 positioned below. Will Josh better call it out? Might not matter. Josh finds one trade back and trade again. Knights win it out. 4v3 now. They have the man advantage, but Rhythm have 90 control.
Oh, Dino, does he find the timing? Just managed to burn the X-Kairos with that impact trick. That could be devastating for Rhythm. They were hoping for a line of sight that would cut off the rotations, at the very least put the pressure back on Knights. But with 20 seconds left, third place looming in the hands of Knights as they could rip this out from underneath them. Dino holds strong. Sage is finding the kills that he needs to, and this should be all done and dusted. It's map point to the Knights, and they have crushed Rhythm's dreams of finishing third in OCN Stage 3.
Rhythm are now locked in 5th place at the end of the Stage 3 regular season standings. They will still have a shot to fight through the playoffs next weekend, but they will need to run the gauntlet. Overt, Chiefs, Knights, and Bliss ahead of them. It will be a tough road for Rhythm, but now we turn our attention to the Knights. Rhythm's fate is settled, at least for now. For the Knights, Bliss will be watching eagerly to see whether they get their free semi-final or whether Knights can rip it away from them in the next few rounds.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
They've got 2 attempts. That's it. 2 to secure it in regulation and be undeniably the top of OCN. If they falter and they go to OT and they end up winning in OT, then at the very least, they will be equal with Bliss with the head-to-head. Yeah. But you know that Knights are not settling for that. You know that they're more hungry than just that outcome.
But hey, there is one cheeky little scenario, one last opportunity for Rhythm to steal a little bit of Knights' own hopes and dreams, and that is if Knights can actually, well, if Rhythm rather, can actually pull this back and win it in overtime. They will return the favor to Knights and crush their own dreams. Bliss will be seated first, Knights will be denied, and Rhythm won't get anything extra out of it other than making their enemies suffer.
it would literally be, like if you looked up in the dictionary an eye for an eye,
Yeah.
it would be Rhythm winning in overtime. That's exactly what it would look like. Everyone would be left blind, and there'd be no happy endings from this match.
Clear across from Study for Rhythm. Knights waste their first C4, trying to dislodge the player on 90 window. It's Drex. Sage really keeping the pressure tight on him. Dragos is ready to move forward, as is AFX. Sage is keenly watching the angle, though, and not eager to give this ground up to Rhythm.
Big. I think that's the first time we've seen the opening frag go the way of Rhythm, if I'm not mistaken, in this second half. This is massive. AFX is going to be able to find a backstab onto Dino. They're making this work, Tev. I mean, I don't want to say it before it's, you know, before it happens. The fat lady isn't singing yet, but Rhythm, they're after Knights with a hunger.
Juicy is avidly watching the angle, though, and Dragos is low on HP. Drex also low on HP, and this TCSG packs a punch. May well be able to take down Drex in just one hit. Knights now retaking Master. They know that there's no pressure there from Rhythm yet. As I say that, Knights back off and Rhythm rotate a player over. It's Ghoul. Not likely to be able to get this wall denial off, but at least he can put some pressure from another angle, especially when Rhythm have the advantage in the 5v4. That should, or 5v3, that should help them.
Drones have been running a little bit thin ever since the minute 30 mark. They've only been down to 4 this entire time. Now make that third. Flank watchers are going to be on a minimal, and droning ahead is going to be quite hard to do, but when AFX is finding openings like that on the Haywood, it makes life almost impossible here for the Knights. It's Juicy and Sage. They've clutched up in a 2v4 again. Well, before, can they do it again?
The Thatcher comes up big for Rhythm as well, but Sage finds one. This refrag would be everything. It is! Leb finds it. 15 seconds for Juicy to make this 1 versus 3.
Oh, we've seen this before. Juicy with the opportunity, but it's AFX that shuts him down. We are going to round 12 to decide whether Knights are out on top indefinitely and clearly.
Rhythm are really feeling the pressure right now, but as are the Knights, who take their own tactical pause. Rhythm took theirs just a few rounds ago, and on the back of it, they won their kitchen dining attack in the 2 versus 4. They broke that 5-round winning streak that Knights had been on. And now with Rhythm finding their second attack round win, Knights need to lock them out of this game.
They can do so as well. Who would have thought that Rhythm would have really been pushing the best teams in OCE to their limits, to their utter limits. Remembering, Rhythm have beaten Chiefs. All right, Rhythm have beaten Roffle. And they've been close with Bliss and Overt, who they will be facing should they run the entire gauntlet. And now, for the Knights, they're up against the wall again.
Now they've had their tack, they've had a chance to talk to their coach Picnic. They've had a chance to talk to each other. Find their composure on the last round of regulation. They go to Trophy and Stat, where they just failed to lose. They could have gone down to Kitchen Dining, but they opted to retry this Kitchen, or the Stat Trophy bomb site. We do have a change on the Rhythm side, the 6-pick onto the Flores. We have a couple changes on the Knight side. Josh going for the Rook, believe it or not. An unusual pick to be sure. Perhaps just trying to assist a little bit with the HP on these roaming players. The main change I'm seeing is Juicy on for the Frost. Now, it doesn't look like he's going for a hard hold here, but he is looking to just punish Rhythm. Now, you mentioned already, Rob, that Rhythm run really low on drones.
5 seconds left.
Maybe that's something that Knights have identified as well, and are banking on that.
Attackers
Banking on Rhythm not having the info about these Frost mats.
What's crazy for the double frost mat under that single window next to the master bed in the master bedroom is the fact that like there's a drone hole right beside it. So if you don't see it, like
That's all you.
boy, are you like you're asking some massive questions of your droning team. But yeah, I just feel like that one's a bit of an interesting position to place it.
Well, the general rule is the lower IQ the Frost mat, the more effective it will be.
Yes.
That's what
Always.
happens. Really good downstairs control, though, from Rhythm already. Establishing some pressure early. Vertical lines. This fight could go either way. AFX gonna win it. He takes down Dino. That's a good opening pick.
I can feel it. I can feel Rhythm are going to take the eye.
They want the
They're
eye.
not pleased at all. They want it, man. And I can feel it. It's in my bones right now. They are not happy whatsoever with what Knights have done for their stage. And now they look to take their vengeance. Swift vengeance at that. Imagine that. All in one game. Bada bim, bada boom. Minute 30 left. Rhythm doing a fair bit. And the Flores, the Rotero drones, should really help them here.
The Thatcher as well certainly going to help out. They do have the breach, but we see Juicy has placed his shield in a strong position, and Josh is also ready to deny any future X-Kairos on the wall. Also, the Electroclaw is back up again. Now, we still have 2 EMPs left for Leb, but Leb takes a chunk of damage. Dragos is in a very strong position, and he cuts off Sage underneath the stairs. And Sage somehow finds Leb anyway. Drago's desperate for a refrag, but it might not be possible.
Oh my god, how does Sage hit that? Drago's had the opportunity to shut him down, and with Drex on the floor from the frost mats.
Oh, this is how it ends.
Not
This
like
is
this.
how it
Oh,
ends.
no.
Rhythm.
What are you doing, Rhythm?
The frost mats worked. 2 players caught. And that is a warm welcome. 20 seconds, and Knights are going to lock in number 1.
Oh, it has to be done now. It just has to be done. How has this happened? Hang on a second. It's only 2 players standing for Knights right now, and they managed to make it work. Juicy collects all the name tags, and they secure first place in OCN Stage 3.
And what an insane game from Juicy. The Frost pick in the final round. A fantastic showing from the Knights. After a slow start, they put Rhythm in their place. They take first place in OCN Stage 3.
Oh, it's been a wild ride, there's no doubt about it, and I'm looking forward to hearing Vast's thoughts on this one, because a 7-5 victory for Knights is what we would have expected Knights to take this quite easily way back when, but oh, how things have changed, Vast, and Rhythm really pushed them to their limits.
Yeah, I think with, considering everything, Rhythm played actually really well today. Again, it was just really small mistakes that really led them down. For me, the biggest mistake today was that 2v3 on their attacks. it just seemed like they were just so indecisive, and there were small glimpses of them being really indecisive on what they want to do. And it could have just been the pressure, or who knows what factors kind of caused that. But I really think if they were a bit more tighter in that, like, it would have been... I mean, they started off really strong. They were 3-0. They could have been 4-0 at one moment of time. And I think Dev kind of... explained it really well with that momentum shift. Everything changed from there.
Yeah, and it's just crazy because Knights took that and ran with it, didn't they, Dev? It's 100% spot on. The second Knights started to get on a bit of a roll, it felt like Rhythm were just down too bad.
That's it. I mean, it's honestly astonishing now that we've had the context of the whole game. Astonishing that Knights lost the first 3 rounds so dominantly. They really didn't look like a strong team in those opening 3 rounds. And then, I mean, Rhythm were playing so well. Like, I think it was the 4th round where Knights finally got it. Like, Rhythm started so well. They denied the plant. They had so many vertical angles, but Knights somehow won an unpredictable round, and that completely set the tone for the rest of the match.
Oh, looking back, what a game it was.
Oh my God,
Leb was popping off in the first half, but look at Sage and Juicy. Sage with a +4 entry. I mean, Vast, you know, I don't know if you've seen the interview with Dev, but Sage is mentioning he's doing 3-4 hours of individual training outside of everything that the Knights are doing. Like, this has to be paying off.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that interview, and I mean, that's ridiculous to be able to do, ridiculous in a good way, I should say, to be able to commit that much time into your own individual, you know, practice, and you also have scrims, VODs, Apex South, OCN, like that's a lot of work, and you know, all credit to him, man. You know, if you put in that work, and it has been showing, like the last few games, Sage has really been on another level. He's been really consistent, and yeah, I think he's just really finding some really good form. So whatever he's doing, you know, keep it up, and you know, respect to him.
I also find it astonishing that Sage is managing to do all that while also doing a lot of the prep work behind the scenes, while also doing the macro IGL, plus Juicy, right? Fragging out, had a fantastic game today. He's calling the shots as well a lot of the time. He plays a pretty significant leadership role on this team, just like Dino and Sage does. And the fact that those two players can just perform so well individually while doing that is astonishing.
Certainly is. So we'll actually bring Juicy in for a conversation, because that's just the best way to do this nowadays. The Don, welcome in. Stage 3 champions, at least for the regular season, mate. That is an unreal performance from you guys, regardless of everything else that you've said have gone around this. You know, you're really trying to claw this back. Before we ask any of the hard-hitting questions, what was with the Frost pick in the last rounds?
The round before they stalled out that long, and there wasn't much time left, and I thought, if I just put double frost mat on that window, someone's jumping into it, and it worked, so it's whatever. Wasn't much more thought than that. Just softened them up for me when they came into sight.
Oh, Dev, I'm so sorry. I've just seen that you said that.
I did just talk about Juicy about Frost, and then as soon as I typed that, Rob just steals my question. But no, I mean,
it was literally out of my mouth.
Great minds think alike. It's all right.
Bas, I believe you're up here.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we've got a lot of insight from you, Juicy. I kind of just wanted to mix it up and kind of talk a bit about you individually. We got the Sage on interview that we were just talking about before, about kind of his practice. You know, how have you been kind of coping with, you know, playing in, you know, Apex South and OCN? Have you been feeling the burnout? And, you know, if so, how have you personally been kind of managing that?
I don't know. It's hard dealing with the 2 leagues, it really is, like, especially these, like, the super weeks and stuff like that, but I think you just, I don't know, I don't really feel it. As long as you get your good enough break between the 2 stages, I think, you know, you can cope for the rest of the stage. So as long as that's good, you know, you can generally get through it, but I don't think any burnout. I think if maybe you played ranked maybe 8 hours a day and then all of the scrims and aim training as well, you'd be a bit screwed, but I think if you just have a right balance with playing the game outside of scrims, it's good.
Times like this, it's easy to jump on the Knights bandwagon and think, oh, you know, you guys are so good, nothing can stop you. But I mean, you guys are coming out of a slum, and even just the other night in Apex South, you lost to Chiefs. So I kind of just want to know where you're at, like having reassessed yourself after that, kind of getting a bit comfortable, as you put it. And particularly about Chiefs, like it seems that Chiefs have got your number these days. Like, what's your opinion on that?
I don't know. We just never seem to show up on the day against Chiefs. Like, I don't know whether it's their, you know, their game plan going into it, how they play against us, whether that works perfectly for them. But I think it doesn't. It didn't help the other day. We were still going through some, you know, problems in the team. We're still trying to figure it out as we go. Today, a couple of things. I think the first 3 rounds showed that, you know, sometimes we are really lacking, and you know, when we talk a little bit just in between the round, you know, people start stepping up, and you know, we can drag ourselves through. But I don't know. It's tough to put it down to one specific thing at the moment. We're still trying to work it out as a team and just get through it at the moment. I don't know. It's really hard, Dev, but we'll get there.
Yeah, and look, I'll be completely honest, Juicy. This might be the happiest I think I've seen you. You seem in a very jolly spirit. Is that what we can take away from tonight? Are you guys kind of feeling that?
Yeah, I'm feeling happy after the. It was pretty depressing in the voice after the first 3 rounds. I'm not going to lie, but after a win, after that, we proved time and time again that we can bring these 2 4s or 3 3s back pretty comfortably. So we just got to start like that, and I think that's the thing for us: just starting off well, getting those leads, and actually putting the foot down, and just speeding through it. So I don't know. I'm happy.
Actually,
right now we got the dub.
Kind of interrupting there, talking about that when you're kind of 3-0 down. Does it kind of rely on your leaders within the team to just kind of bring everyone up?
I think it helps. I had a little pep talk. Like it's not good enough. It's pretty bullshit to be blatant that we're 0-3 down right now. So let's step up. We win these next few rounds.
That,
yeah. I don't know. I think you got to be pretty blatant when things are going wrong. Fire people up and get people back in the mood and bring it back from there.
Well, look, mate, I'll be completely honest. I'm looking forward to a fired-up night, especially heading into these last couple of Playdays for APAC South and the OCN playoffs. So we'll give you the floor as per usual. We'll let you do your due diligence in terms of your interview duties. Go ahead.
Lovely. All right. As always, teammates, friends, support, staff, to all the fans, and to you boys for the cast. As always, every week. I know I'm never going to change. It's going to be so. One day I'll spice it up, but I don't know. Without you guys, it doesn't happen, as I say. So thank you very much, guys.
No. Look, we're waiting for the day that you've got it on a recording. You just play it. You just look at us as you do it. But anyway, Juicy, thank you very much for joining us, mate. Yeah, look, at this point, it may well. You're on here so often, mate. But thank you very much. I'm sure we'll see you in APAC South.
Lovely. Thanks, boys. See you later.
Can I say it? That is one of the best interviews that we've had all stage long. Great insight there. Honestly, he's looking really happy, and it feels like the team is coming along great.
I also like they didn't sugarcoat it. Like you said, we're 0-3 down. Yeah. It was really depressing. I'm really glad you asked that follow-up question of us, not only because we got a cuss word out of him, which is really dear to me. I think that was hilarious. But also just, we got some brutal honesty. It's like, at some points, you just got to be like, guys, this isn't acceptable. This is now standards. So let's, pull our feet in. Let's actually do this.
Vast, I mean, is this the start of what we wanted to see for Knights? Is this where we've wanted them to be all stage, all season long? Do you think that they're starting to hit their strides?
It's hard to say because their kind of progression's been kind of like a wave. We'll see one really good game and then it's kind of, you don't want to judge it too soon. But something that I thought that was really, I wouldn't say impressive, but I kind of appreciated more from Knights was, I feel like their attitude today, just from watching it, seemed like they were playing, they wanted to win today. They weren't really messing about in the game. They took their tactical timeout at a really good point. Juicy was saying in his interview that, they were disappointed in themselves. So it was good to kind of refreshing to hear that and to see that they are having that, winner's mentality. Today's game for them only really decided if they get first place or second place, right? So I think having that mentality is a winner's mentality, and yeah, it's something that I appreciate.
For sure, I guess champion sees another champion. It's you gotta respect it. But let's have a look at how the results went today, because these matches have been all over the place, Dev. We started off with 2 upsets, and then we kind of went along, and it was a bit more business as usual toward the back end of tonight. But certainly, Overt and Wildcard showed us something different.
Looking at the schedule right now, I forgot that Wildcard won, and I still can't believe it. I love Wildcard, but I just hadn't expected that one. Obviously, the 7-2 Overt is like a really surprising scoreline. Chiefs really just didn't rock up in the serve. It's almost the polar opposite of what you were just saying about Knights Fast. I feel like we already threw Chiefs under the bus enough, so I won't continue to do that. But, not happy, Jan. Good stuff for Wildcard, though. Really happy to see them get, a win. And even though it didn't give them anything in terms of their playoffs position, It did deny Ruffle their own playoffs position, and I mean, it's just another feat of confidence for Wildcard, which is always nice.
And let's have a look at the predictions as we continue to talk about tonight here, Vas, because I think with these mixed results, like, where does everyone land? Oh, Guz is still out on top. Oh.
They're coming down to my level, Manic, these days, just sinking down.
Yeah, I know. I went for a couple of cheeky little upsets here and there, and I think it's really started to cost me. But Vast, you said before the broadcast that you were feeling a bit off about the wildcard pick, but it's come back for you.
I cannot believe the first and second game, because over in Chiefs, I was really on the fence. Like, I already told Ducky, that I go for Chiefs, and then he said something back that made me change my mind. And with the wildcard and Ruffle, I like, as I was saying earlier, I have no clue why I picked wildcard. I think I remembered. I think it was more that I felt the pressure would get to Ruffle, and that wildcard would have no pressure. I think that was my thought process. So I'm kind of happy I was able to bank a few wins there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
we have
tonight,
way too much faith in rhythm. Just saying. We have way too much faith in rhythm.
Way too much.
Yeah, that one was a bit.
5
I
rhythm
thought I
picks
was,
and 3
being a bit cheeky with the rhythm pick there, but and then everyone just got the rhythm pick. But yeah, no, like with tonight, it was a really tough one. Like every game was really on the fence. You know, it could have gone either way. It was really hard to predict because, you know, everyone wanted tonight mattered the most. Everyone wanted the best possible result. Maybe not so much for Order and Wildcard, but I think for everyone else, they really, wanted it. So it was, a really kind of tough night to predict where it would kind of lean. And it seems like Bliss and Knights coming on top is how it concluded.
You bring a tear to my eye, Vast. You really start to become one of us with all your on the fence, your 50-50s. It could have gone either way. We're loving it.
It's just the easy cop out. Like, if you got nothing to say, you're just like, I'm on the fence. Oh, sorry, I should say that. Yeah, that's the
audience don't need to know how easy of a cop out it is.
Releasing secrets.
Yeah.
OCN cast the secrets.
The trade secrets. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one person who kept a secret all night was apparently Edpan, because he absolutely went nuclear in our first matchup of the day, Dev. I mean, what a performance from Edpan. Like, honestly, I would have expected, like, maybe the Cairo to be as sharp as he was tonight against the Chiefs.
I mean, it sounds like you're sleeping on Edpan to me, mate. He's always been a serious player for Overt. He's been stepping up massively for this roster, always fragging out. You'll often see him on pretty frag-heavy operators, like he was just nailing it on the Twitch today, and here we get to see some of his insane replays. He had a fantastic showing on this map. Just a couple of clutches, a couple of just serious lockout rounds. So many multi-kills. So many multi-kills. And so many fights that he probably shouldn't have won. He's winning anyway.
He's quite emotional, isn't he, Vast? He seems to get up and about these clutches.
I love how happy he's getting about winning. It's just, I don't know, it's just awesome to see. But no, he's been really impressive this season. I used to scrim this lineup a while ago, back in the old ancient ancient playing times, and I didn't really see what I saw this season, so it's really cool to see him really be really confident and aggressive. And I just think the whole team, the way they're playing together, they're just enabling each other to have these performances.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you look back at their season, which we'll do right now with the standings, it kind of goes to show, we'll look back at the stage, I should say. It kind of goes to show the full picture of what they've been able to achieve, Dev, because only 1 point away from the Chiefs in 4th place. This team came in from OCL and we weren't expecting anything, and yet look what they've been able to achieve.
There is absolutely no doubt there are 2 prevailing storylines for Stage 3. The first one is Overt, who were first place in OCL Stage 1, second place in OCL Stage 2, and now 4th place in OCN Stage 3, and that's not it. They could go higher depending on how they go in playoffs. They'll be playing Rhythm in their first playoffs game. The other storyline is Rhythm. I mean, where did they come from? And how did they manage to be above Rufflecopter, Wildcard, and Order?
Man, from stage 2, where they didn't win a single game, to stage 3, where they've been pushing literally the best teams that Australia has to offer, it's been incredible. Now, one thing we get to do when we look at this is, of course, set expectations for the gauntlet. Let's have a look at where we are going. Of course, you've already mentioned overt and rhythm play. Winner of that then goes on to Chiefs, and so on and so forth, all the way up until the Knights. Vast, do you think that, I personally think that this is a fair kind of overall, overarching view of how this stage has gone? Would you agree?
Pretty close, pretty close. I probably wouldn't have put Knights first, to be honest. I thought I probably would have put Knights third, but you know, they managed to have some really good performances against Bliss and a few other teams that have enabled them to get more points. Kind of expect Chiefs to be second or not. If Chiefs got fourth, I don't know. I would have been lost for words, but I kind of expected them, you know, second, third.
Yeah. That's, I think that it's, I don't know, it's kind of 6 and 1/2 dozen than the other with this, isn't it, Dev? Because, you know, all 3 of those teams at the top have been doing this since stage 1.
Yeah, look, I think those top 3 teams in the league have really cemented themselves as the top 3 in the league. The only thing that I guess I hadn't thought about that I'm now seeing is that Bliss is guaranteed to win stage 3, all right? Because that's the curse, right? Whoever ends up seating in second place and goes into that semi-final wins it. We've seen Overt did it in stage 1 of OCL, Chiefs did it in stage 1 of OCN. We saw Fury did it in stage 2 of OCL, Chiefs did it in stage 2 of OCN. Time for stage 3 to continue the trend.
What? That's crazy. I really did not expect that. I'll be completely honest with you. And, I mean, outside of the stage 2 performance from Knights, yeah, Bliss up, that's for damn sure. Outside of Knights' performance in stage 2, which they lost to Order like 7-1 on the last Playday, we literally would have had the top 3 teams from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 be Bliss, Chiefs, and Knights, which is pretty crazy to see the consistency of all 3 of those teams across the stages. However, gentlemen, I mean, it's getting down to the hairy end now. I guess we might give everyone a chance to kind of summarize what they've seen tonight and throughout the stage. Vast, we'll go to you first.
Where do I even begin, to be honest? I mean, the biggest storylines being Rhythm and Overt, and then, you know, the downfall of Order and Wildcard. It's been crazy, and I definitely have been enjoying the shift in kind of, I guess, the position of where certain teams sit. You know, with Chiefs, Bliss, and Knights, hasn't been so clear. All those teams have been really in a dogfight, really battling for that, you know, first place. I think the true fight will come in playoffs for those 3 teams. I'm not really, like, you know, I do have a lot of high hopes for Overt, but trying to beat Chiefs, Bliss, and then Knights into like BO3s and then BO5. Look, I don't know. All credit to them. I wish them the best, but that's a tough one.
It is the only way that they will be able to make it to the, well, dodging relegations, right? Over currently sitting in relegation spot. The only way they can dodge that is they got to beat Rhythm, they got to beat Chiefs, they got to beat Bliss, and then they got to beat Knights. They got to come first in stage 3, and then that'll be it. Then they'll make it.
Could you imagine, though? Could you imagine?
Oh, God. Imagine the sign on our faces. You can clip this moment right now where we're all smiling going, there's no way, there's no possible way. But no, look, there may well be. But ladies and gentlemen, that's almost going to conclude us. One thing you cannot forget is that we have The Reload, the show where we go over everything OCN. We bring in players, we bring in washed up Vast sometimes, you know, depending on his availability, but we talk...
When you don't have anyone else.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, okay? I wasn't going to dog you like that, but I guess that's kind of the way it goes. We do sit back and we shoot the breeze over everything that is OCN and OCL as well sometimes, don't forget that. But do tune in, it's Monday night at 9:30 p.m. It'll be Australian Eastern Daylight Time because we do swap over as of tomorrow, see? Bang. He's too good.
When does it tick over, actually? When does it? Because it's 12:18 a.m. right now. Does that mean that when it hits 1 o'clock, it'll just be 12 o'clock again, or am I going the wrong way?
No, I can't remember. Oh, God, no. Now you've spun me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to close the show on that one. That is a terrible... There you go. At 2 a.m., it will be 3 a.m., so just make sure you're prepared for that. But thank you so much for joining us this stage. It has been an absolute thrill and a joy. However, make sure you pencil it in. It's next week. It's the Gauntlet, and it's game on.
How many exit frags can he get? That's the question. Not a single one more. Overt making a statement here. He's got so much to do ahead of him. He's going to have to make it a 4K on the retake. The C4 gets shots, and he needs to land the final one. It doesn't look like Ruffle have the vertical eyes, but they do at the moment. And Emo, no, he has to win that, and he doesn't. But Gio's keeping it alive for wild card. Not a lot of time here for him to make it work. There's a whole minute on the clock, but he's got 2 players to find. OJ also, there it is. No, he doesn't land the shot. Such a narrow angle. One tap. Good night, Gio. Against Nate and Nico.
Do it. Oh my God, how does Sage hit that? Drago's had the opportunity to shut him down, and with Drex on the floor from the frost mats.
Oh, this is how it ends.
Not
This
like
is
this.
how it ends.
No!
Rhythm.
What are you doing, Rhythm?
The frost mats worked.
He realizes that he is alone in the matter.
Ooh,
And that, you can see the ping off, and the play from underneath. Jigsaw is unbelievable right now. 30 seconds left. Specker is going to have to... Oh, that is unbelievable play from Jigsaw. He will surely be given that information. Specker trying to come around the corner right now, but it's ready. Oh my God! He is on another level. Jigsaw is...
I'm running out of time. I'm running out of feeling so. I'm running out of time. to leave it all behind. From me sees a rainbow.